Most women have a graveyard in their closet. Not clothes, shoes. A pair of heels that looked perfect in the store and destroyed their feet by noon. Boots that cracked after 2 winters. Sandals whose soles separated before summer ended. Here's why that keeps happening. The shoe brands filling every mall, every Instagram ad, and every treat yourself moment are selling the same thing. The look of quality without the construction to back it up. Today, 5 brands that have turned that trick into a business model, and 3 brands most people have never heard of that are quietly making better shoes for a fraction of the price. These are the ones only experts know. Steve Madden is everywhere, and that's exactly the problem. The brand sits in a price range that feels like a quality signal. $40 to $150. Not cheap enough to dismiss, not expensive enough to question. Right in the zone where most shoppers assume they're getting something real. What they're actually getting is fast fashion footwear. Steve Madden's own business model is built on trend replication, copying runway and luxury designs and producing them quickly at low cost. That speed requires cemented construction over stitched, synthetic materials over genuine leather, and quality control that prioritizes volume over consistency. The result? Shoes that look excellent in the store and photograph beautifully online, but crease and crack under regular wear. Soles that separate. Heels that wear down faster than the price tag suggests they should. This is not a one-off complaint. It is the dominant pattern across thousands of verified reviews on independent platforms. The brand delivers trend timing. What it does not deliver is construction that justifies even its mid-range pricing. When the founder himself openly admits on a podcast that his shoe prices will increase due to tariffs while the materials stay the same, the value proposition becomes clear. You are paying for the name on the box. Nine West built decades of goodwill on the back of genuinely well-made shoes. Produced in Brazil, constructed with real leather, built to last seasons. That version of Nine West no longer exists. The brand was sold, restructured, and the production moved. What replaced it is a brand running entirely on inherited reputation. The name still signals quality to a generation that remembers the original. The product no longer earns it. Nine West currently holds a 2.3-star rating across more than 200 verified reviews on consumer platforms. The complaints are remarkably consistent. Heels breaking after a handful of wears, soles separating from the upper, quality control failures that would have been unacceptable to the brand in its original form. One verified reviewer paid $100 for a pair in early 2025. The heel broke 3 months later. Nine West refused to address it without a receipt. $100 for a shoe that lasts 3 months is not a deal. It's a brand charging for a legacy it no longer delivers. Aldo occupies a specific lane. Trend-forward shoes at prices that feel accessible but aren't quite cheap. $60 to $130 for styles that mirror what's on the runway and fall apart before the trend even ends. The construction is consistently the problem. Cemented soles that separate. Synthetic materials marketed as leather adjacent without the durability. Buckles breaking within months. Decorative stones falling off after a single wear. Aldo's rating on SiteJabber sits at 1.3 stars from over 200 reviews, one of the lowest customer satisfaction scores in the accessible footwear category. That's not a bad batch. That's a systemic quality problem. The brand's response to quality complaints makes it worse. Sale items, which represent a significant portion of their volume, are explicitly excluded from warranty coverage. Aldo has built a business model where the shoes most likely to disappoint are also the ones with zero recourse if they fail. Trend shoes have a short shelf life by design. At Aldo's prices, you're paying for the trend and subsidizing the quality gap yourself. UGG is one of the most interesting case studies in modern footwear. because it used to genuinely deserve its reputation. The original UGG boot was simple: sheepskin lining, suede upper, durable sole. It was warm, it lasted, and the price reflected real materials and real construction. Women who bought Uggs in the early 2000s still have pairs in working condition. That product has been systematically replaced. A viral TikTok comparison, which accumulated millions of views, showed a pair of Uggs from 2010 alongside a pair from 2022. The older pair, intact, structured, sheepskin lining fully in place. The 2022 pair, sole separating from the upper, lining deteriorating, structural failure after less than 2 years of normal wear. The core product, the sheepskin lining that justified every premium, has been quietly diluted. Reviews consistently note that newer pairs use less dense, less warm lining than older versions. The suede stains easily and is not waterproof despite the brand's positioning as winter footwear. Sizing inconsistencies are now a known issue across multiple styles. The price has not reflected any of this. Classic UGG boots still retail at $150 to $200 and above. You are paying for what UGG used to be. The product in the box is no longer that product. Michael Kors shoes carry every disadvantage of the Michael Kors handbag: logo markup, plated hardware, synthetic materials, with one added problem. Shoes endure daily physical stress that bags never have to. Their footwear line sits at $80 to $200 per pair. The materials are predominantly synthetic leather and fabric uppers with cemented construction. The hardware, buckles, chains, logo embellishments, is plated metal that tarnishes on the same timeline as their bags. But the failure mode for shoes is more immediate than bags. Shoes flex. They absorb impact. The cemented bond between sole and upper fails faster under that stress than it would on a stationary accessory. The result? Peeling, separation, and structural breakdown within a normal use period. The brand's outlet strategy, which we covered in our clothing video, applies equally to footwear. Michael Kors shoes are perpetually discounted at 40 to 60% off, which tells you everything about where the real price was set and why. You are paying for the MK logo stamped into the insole. That logo does not add cushioning, durability, or longevity. It adds nothing except the illusion that you bought something better. 5 brands charging for names, trends, and legacies they no longer earn. Now the 3 that experts actually buy, and almost no one talks about. Clarks has been making shoes since 1825. That is not a marketing line. It is 200 years of accumulated knowledge about how footwear is supposed to be constructed, and it shows in every pair they make. Their leather ages well, not cracks, not peels, ages, softening and molding to the shape of your foot over time until the shoe fits like it was made for you specifically. That is what real leather does. It is what synthetic materials cannot replicate, regardless of what they're called on a product page. Real leather booties from Clarks are currently available at Macy's from $40 during sales, and independent owners report wearing pairs for over a decade. The cost per year on a $90 pair of Clarks boots worn for 10 years is $9. Compare that to any of the 5 brands above. The cushioning technology is functional, not decorative. The sizing is consistent, the designs are classic, which means they don't expire when the trend does. Clark's is what shoe brands used to be before the industry decided that the logo mattered more than the last. Naturalizer is the brand podiatrists recommend and fashion editors rarely mention, which means it exists in exactly the gap between function and recognition where real value lives. Their construction prioritizes comfort from the first wear. No break-in period, no blisters. No choosing between looking good and being able to walk by 3 p.m. The materials are genuine leather across their core range, with removable insoles that allow custom orthotics, a detail that most brands at twice the price don't bother with. Their sizing runs in multiple widths, which is a commitment to real women's feet over the industry's one-width standard. Price range, $70 to $135 for the majority of their line. For genuine leather, functional construction, and comfort that holds up through a full day, that pricing reflects actual value, not brand inflation. The fashion world ignores Naturalizer because it's not aspirational. It doesn't have celebrity endorsements or a viral moment. It just makes good shoes consistently for women who have figured out that their feet matter more than the logo on the box. For the sneaker category specifically, the space most dominated by logo inflation, New Balance is the brand experts have been quietly buying for years, while everyone else chased the hype. The 574 and its variants use genuine suede and mesh uppers with end cap cushioning technology, a proprietary system that provides real support and impact absorption, not just the appearance of it. Construction is reinforced at stress points. The sole is stitched, not just cemented. Price $80 to $100 for the core line. Compare that to Steve Madden sneakers at the same price point using synthetic uppers and cemented construction, or Aldo's trend sneakers that won't outlast the season. New Balance also manufactures a portion of their line in the United States and the United Kingdom, one of the only major footwear brands that can make that claim at a non-luxury price point. That matters for construction standards and quality control. The brand's resurgence in fashion, driven by actual product quality rather than manufactured hype, has made it one of the most recommended sneakers across independent review communities, styling forums, and podiatric associations simultaneously. That combination, fashionable, functional, and actually built, is rarer than it should be. New Balance delivers it at a price that exposes everything the 5 brands above are charging for. The shoe industry runs on the same principle as the fashion industry, that most buyers will never investigate what they're actually paying for. The 5 brands covered today have built profitable businesses on the assumption that a name, a logo, or a faded legacy is enough to justify the price tag. For many shoppers, it has been. Until the heel breaks, the sole separates, or the lining falls apart after one winter. The 3 alternatives on this list don't require that assumption. Clark's earns trust through 200 years of consistent construction. Naturalizer earns it through comfort that actually holds up. New Balance earns it through materials and technology that perform rather than just photograph. The best shoe you can buy is the one you're still wearing in 3 years. By that measure, the 5 brands above are some of the most expensive shoes on the market, regardless of what the price tag says. Now you know what experts know.